What's good, everybody? So today we're going to be taking a look at this video right here, why new players prefer WuWa over Genshin, which is a pretty interesting topic. It is by Little Honey Schmack right here, and it's talking about kind of the differences of the new player experience, I would assume, of WuWa and Genshin. Now, as we all know, there is a very prominent recent example in history that we can reference right here, and that is Mr. Nicholas Light TV. Yes, he started off by dipping his toes into the Gachaverse by playing Wuthering Waves first. And I think everybody is well aware, it's well documented, just how much he really liked WuWa. He loved the gameplay, he loved the story, he played like basically the entire quests like back to back in like such a short space of time. He loved it. 2.4 he loved everything about WuWa, okay, coming from him. And then he went to play Genshin Impact, and ooh, it was not good. Bro did not last more than like 2 hours. He didn't last more than 2 hours, to the point where he had to make a whole video. 114,000 views. I don't like Genshin Impact. The new player experience for Genshin Impact is significantly worse than Wuthering Waves. That's not me trying to drama farm or anything like that. It's just a fact, okay? It's a fact. Go and play Genshin again for the first time and you'll see how it feels. The stamina alone will drive someone crazy. But go take a look at this video right here and see some more in-depth opinion about this exact matter. So let's get into it.
The Kuro dogs, Hoyo virgin could never. Kuro coin to the top. Augusta slaughters 1 week of WuWa HP inflation. LOL 25%. Shit game, just a copy could never beat the original. Look at this prostitute. No, look at this prostitute. No, look at my shiny gambling addiction. No, look at mine. WuWa CC bad. Steam bun.
Oh my god, chat. Oh my god, chat. Oh my god. Okay, chat. You have to edit this out then, bro. Chat. I sent you a link to the footage folder, bro. It's not in. It's uploading. Brother, it's uploading to the footage folder. It's got like 10 minutes left, dude. Yes, it's the drive. Where the fuck is it? Bro, it will be in there. It will be its own file. It's uploading. Holy shit. It's the drive. Yes. Yes, it's the drive. It's getting uploaded into the drive. It's not there yet. Girl. Yeah, it's uploading into this. It's uploading into this. It's not there yet. God damn it. All right. Can we start again? Holy shit. You need to manage your folder by the whole drive. All right. Can I do my job now? Okay, great. Okay, great. Let's try that again.
Genshin is the worst. WuWa on top. Genshin better than the Kuro dogs. Hoyo virgin could never. Kuro coin to the top. Augusta slaughters 1 week of WuWa HP inflation.
Holy ADHD intro, dude.
Shit game, just a copy could never beat the original. Look at this prostitute. No, look at this prostitute. No, look at my shiny.
Bro, that smashing sound is the brain cells that I'm losing. Watching this ADHD intro, I'll be real.
Gambling addiction. No, look at mine. WuWa CC bad. Steam bun.
I am terrible. That is so true. Also, Steam Bun is probably one of the most dumbest creators on the whole gacha space. Like, he has to be. Like, he's far too silly. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. Get Cooked Bun X, when I nuclear ratioed him the other day, is crazy.
Bun X good.
Did I get your guys' attention? Okay, great. Recently, a huge YouTuber named Nicholas Light has entered the Gacha Gauntlet, and has at the time of writing this played Genshin, WuWa, ZZZ, and is just now giving HSR a shot. He's played through all of WuWa, stopped playing ZZZ due to annoying fans on both sides of the children's playground that they like to call their battlefield, and then quit Genshin after like an hour or two. But hey, he's enjoying HSR.
Hell yeah.
I think.
Good for him.
But a big point of conversation was how he went from this to this.
I actually like it. No, I'm not playing it
again. A lot of
again.
Genshin fans are upset, and WuWa fans are rejoicing, while the minority of Kurobots are gloating. They got recognition from, and by most definitions, a normie. Which I thought people hated, but you know, if it means glazing the thing that they like, then yippee, I guess. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this specific clip.
Wuthering Waves to me is me in my best shape, right? I wake up in the morning, I could get the day going. I could get my day started. I could grind hard. I could work out. I could have a great day and everything. Muscles, I'm ripped. I'm eating right. I don't feel sluggish. I'm energized. I don't feel tired all day. Genshin Impact to me is the opposite. It's out of shape in Nicholas Light. It's walking up 3 steps and I'm out of breath.
This is a crazy comparison, by the way.
And sluggish, and I don't
like
want to
actually crazy comparison.
Feeling tired all day.
That is almost in like a literal sense. Just looking at the Genshin stamina alone, you can't go 5 seconds without having to stop after you sprint or climb. That's in the, you can relate that to the most literal sense if you wanted to. Like, not just metaphorical, literal. Because you can't do crap in Genshin when you first start out. You will forget the amount of time you have to spend collecting your animalculouses or whatever it is to build up your stamina. You gotta forget you have to do that when you start the game.
That's what Genshin Impact felt for me.
I think this line right here perfectly encapsulates the biggest reason why people are starting to gravitate towards Wuthering Waves more than Genshin. And no, this isn't a video to dog on Genshin. Trust me, I have more than enough disdain for the game to do that, but I'm looking at this through the lens of someone who likes video games. And as someone who's played a bunch of different video games throughout my life, I like to think I know a little something something. So we're going to talk about why I think new players like Nicholas are gravitating towards WuWa as opposed to Genshin, and why those
WuWa just has a superior new player experience. I don't think it's the best. I think actually WuWa does kind of like hold itself back with 1.0. Because 2.0 is so much better than 1.0. It kind of does a bit of a disservice, but it's still significantly better than Genshin's experience, just like from a gameplay perspective.
Those first 30 minutes are so important. Yep, we're gonna start with some psychology. Here, I'll put this up for the more attention deficit viewers. We're gonna talk with some psychology. Here, I'll put this up for the more attention deficit viewers.
What is this call out, brother? I'm locked into the video. What is this call out? I'm unsubscribing. Yeah, I'm unsubscribing. I'm unsubscribing. That's it. I'm unsubscribing. No, I'm kidding. What the hell, bro?
Viewers, we're gonna talk about 2 things.
I hate this guy already. I hate him.
First impression and tolerance. TLDR, studies show that you have about 1/10 of a second to make a first impression. So about the same amount of time to zero out your bank account when you're buying pulls. Alongside that, just because of how our brains are wired, it can be really hard to shake judgments based off of first impressions due to, well, human nature and our tendency to look for confirmatory evidence. Plus, there's this thing known as the anchoring effect, which is basically our tendency to judge something heavily based off of the first piece of information we get.
Bro, just say first impressions matter. Yeah, that's a really long-winded to say, yo, the first like 30 minutes or an hour is really important to like how you judge a game. Hey, that's a lot of words just to say that. Bro's trying to sound hella smart. After you insulting me like that, nah, I'm gonna shit on you for the rest of the video. As a joke. Okay? But hey, first impressions matter.
I'm sure we've all been in that situation where no matter how different a person may be, that one weird thing that stood out.
You proving him right? I'm banning every single one of you.
Out during the first encounter will always linger in your head. It's why Genshin and WuWa, and honestly a lot of games, start out with a big cutscene to hook you in and keep your attention. Like how I sound like a moron in the beginning, but probably riled up both fandoms. See how I brought it back around? I did the good. We could go more into depth, but I want you to focus on the actual gameplay over anything else, because within the first play session, you're going to be interacting with the gameplay more than the story. And before the children go into the comments and type, "LOL, because he knows Genshin is better," shut the fuck up. You sound dumb. We'll talk about that later. It's a video game. Gameplay is the essence of a video game. If the gameplay sucks, no one wants to play the game. It's that simple. And all things...
I don't know how I feel about that specifically. Like, the gameplay has to hook you first. Do you know why I think that? Let me give you a counterpoint immediately. Clair Obscura there's basically not like a huge amount of gameplay in the first like hour. They introduce the combat to you kind of slowly, but it's really all about the story immediately, and it grips you. Like, the story is the first thing where like you're like, oh my god, like the first like hour of that was crazy, to the point where it's a long time since I ever felt that way about a game. So gameplay is really important and it's the essence, but having an immediately good narrative that's so gripping, like Clair Obscur kind of proves that you can do right off the bat, I think is like extremely powerful as well. But Clair Obscur just does both perfectly, to be honest.
Genshin has a lot to offer. An interesting combat mechanic in the elemental reactions, a bunch of unique characters, and a huge open world environment to run around in and explore. Yet, you're only
Clair Obscur has both for sure.
Interacting with one of these elements right out the get-go, the open world. This is an open world game. And man, Genshin kind of fails as an open world game. I'm not saying this in a haha Genshin sucks kind of way. I'm saying this because there is a severe design flaw with Genshin that they overlooked when copying the notes of Breath of the Wild. Something we need to understand about open world games is that they need to fulfill these requirements to be successful. An interesting world to explore and an actual fun way to traverse the world.
Definitely agree, okay? I definitely agree. If you're making an open world game, you have to make the world interactive. You have to be able to travel through it. That's fun. Okay, Genshin, you can't really do that unless you pay for characters, right? The traversal through it has to be fun, but you also have to be surprised at things that you find. And for me, Genshin definitely falls really far on that aspect. Like, you don't really uncover many things. You can't like stumble upon stuff, accidentally find something that leads you on a tangent for hours like you can in like big AAA like open world games. WuWa does it better, but still not as good as some other like AAA open world games. Like, I like to be surprised, uncover things, go through that process for sure. But Genshin definitely does it the worst out of both of them. Yeah, oh look, another random hilly chill village. Yeah, exactly that. That's not like exciting. That's just filling space. Genshin does a lot of that in the open world where it's literally just filling space.
Genshin does have a pretty interesting world, despite being a little offbeat at times with the themes. It's still a nice world.
I'm going to give Genshin some credit though. Some of the environments that they do make is pretty cool to look at. Like the actual main cities and the actual main points of interest can look pretty good. That is, I will give it that. But a lot of the other stuff sometimes feels like space filling. But you know, it's and I do like, one thing I will give Genshin over WuWa is that there are definitely locations in the map and in the world that are deeper connected into its overall lore that can be discussed and spoken about within the community. Something which doesn't really appear that much, at least right now in WuWa, right? There are so many things in a Genshin map which tie into a greater story, which I will give it. And it's things that people discuss about a lot, but we don't really see that happen with WuWa very much, okay? Like Sumeru definitely has a lot of that, right? Sumeru has a lot of that, especially like in the desert sections. But maybe we'll see some things coming like that with WuWa too eventually. So I will give Genshin that.
The problem is movement sucks. Yeah, I know.
Oh, here it goes again with the stamina and climbing walls.
Well, yes, this is where I go, but you need to understand the movement is important because it's an open world game. The time it takes from point A to point B in Genshin without fast travel is not only slow, but unsatisfying.
It's painful.
The most you have.
It's painful. Traversal is painful. Unless you pay, it is pain. No pay is pain.
Not specific characters, that's a whole issue on its own, but let's stay on topic, is, well, running for a short amount of time and climbing for a short amount of time. Even with maxed out stamina, it feels slow and sluggish. In gliding, which, by the way, in my opinion, sucks in every game that isn't Breath of the Wild or Batman. This shit is so cringe and lame, and I need it out of my games, please. Just
I'm not mad about gliding. It's just there. I feel like if we didn't have gliding, it would just feel worse overall in general, right? So I'd rather have it than not have it, but it's just like a tool.
My opinion though, when you think about games like Spider-Man or Miles Morales or Spider-Man 2, the thing everyone loves are the beautiful
So
open
good.
world that's
I love this game so much, bro.
traversal system. You
I
can
love it
swing
so
around,
much.
launch yourself, vault over and parkour, do tricks, do flips. And even in some other games, it's incorporated into the combat and allows you to bounce off of enemies. And if Spider-Man is too specific, then look at games like Prototype, Infamous Second Son, Assassin's Creed, GTA, The Witcher. The options are literally...
Bro, Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite like series of all time. I haven't played like the couple of the new recent ones, but oh my god, I remember spending hours in like Assassin's Creed 2, for example, and being in that world and just like going around and fucking around. So good. Yo, shout out to my Assassin's Creed 2 homies. Peak game.
Really endless. And newsflash, almost every game I mentioned predates Genshin, but you need to have that balance, or else you would end up with a game like Forspoken that allows cool movement, but a bland world to explore. I don't know about you, but if I don't even feel good moving around, I'm over the game in about 10 minutes. Even Breath of the Wild allows you to ride around on a horse. And remember why I said that gliding sucks in games that aren't in Batman and Breath of the Wild? It's more than just that. Aside from horses,
Can I say something maybe controversial? I feel like this is kind of a bad example to use of Breath of the Wild because look, there's a whole lot of nothing. You're riding on a horse, but you're surrounded by a whole lot of nothing. I don't know if that was the best example to use.
Breath of the Wild has almost the exact same movement, except contextually it makes sense. Besides all the fantasy and magic in the
And again, like a whole lot of nothing. it's like a lot of green. Hey, is this Pokemon? Is this Pokemon Sword and Shield? What's going on, bro?
Legend of Zelda world, Link himself is a pretty grounded character. He almost has zero magical abilities inherently, so him running around and gliding and climbing walls makes sense. But when you look at Genshin, you see motherfuckers summoning meteors, ripping space-time, and be fucking Blastoise. But then you gotta pick flower number 439 at the top of a cliff face, and this is what you're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, peak gameplay. You're doing it wrong because you need to use the Saurians. Yeah, you have to go out of your way to find a Saurian so you could actually climb the walls like quicker and better and like without the stamina. So you're actually playing the game wrong and you're not playing it as the devs intended to. So why are you complaining? Yeah, you shouldn't actually use the characters that you pulled for. You should go and use the little dinosaur mechanics we put in the game. So then you could actually play the game properly. Yeah, not actually use the characters that you want. Crazy.
Remember that whole meme of it makes you feel like Spider-Man? Well, as overplayed as it was, that should be the goal of the game. When I'm playing Spider-Man, I want to feel like Spider-Man. When I'm playing God of War, I want to feel like Kratos.
God, I love God of War so much.
Genshin, I don't feel anything with the characters I'm playing. There's a serious disconnect because there's almost zero relation to how a character feels to play compared to how they're described in any other form. They feel like shitty action figures from the 99-cent store that promises you that they're official merch.
To be fair, how would you do that and not piss people off, right? Like, if you made every Archon unbelievably strong, which they all kind of like are to a degree, but if you made them unbelievably strong, like, how would you make the game balanced? To be fair, I get it though. I totally understand. That's the problem with gacha, right? That's the problem with making all these characters gacha, because there isn't like one main character. Obviously you have like the main character of the series, but you're not playing as one main character, and it's really hard to do like any kind of power scaling or make it feel impactful when you do that. That feels like a gacha problem, to be honest.
Merchandise. It's immersion breaking, it's stupid looking, and worst of all, it's boring. The moment you're
this is definitely 100% a gacha issue.
They're gonna hop off. Bore them enough times, you'll never see that player again. And arguably, movement is more important than...
Yeah, okay, Starro found the solution. Just power creep anyway. Yeah, if you guys see Faded, they just went, you know what? We're just gonna make the animations look cool as hell. That's what, yeah. Caster is Faded. Just made the animations, like, busted. Power creep animations and the kits, bro. Yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
Combat itself. Genshin could have the most insane combat of all time. It doesn't. But if it takes me 7 business days and 4 Red Bulls to get from one fight to another, you've lost me. You could even make this comparison to real life. Imagine if you could only travel through New York City by walking or car and there were no trains or buses. Suddenly, going to that fire-ass pizza spot in Little Italy doesn't sound so peachy keen. WuWa makes small changes and additions to the movement, but suddenly it completely transforms the experience. You can run infinitely as long as you're not in combat. You can parkour, you can run on walls, you don't have to rotate around an overhang and can flip over it. You can grapple, and all this makes traversal so much more seamless and fun. I mean,
100%. It gets rid of the tedious bit and it allows you to turn your brain off. To the point I think we all now take Wuthering Waves, its traversal system, for granted. I feel we have now. Like, it's become so like, yes, this is how it should be. We've all taken it for granted and we don't realize how, like, blessed we are now to have this. You know? We can bloody fly now, so even that we've kind of forgotten about. This seems like going from what we have to Genshin is so much night and day that it's like, what the hell, right? It's unbelievably different to the point why am I even bothering? Why am I wasting my time? Like, actually, the bar was raised so much that going down that far again feels awful.
Parkour videos coming out during WuWa's release, and
WuWa ruined Genshin Impact. That's the title of this video. That's gonna get so many dislikes. Holy hell.
Saw the same thing when Flight was introduced, with people showing off their flight abilities. When you make an action open world game, there's almost just as much importance on how you play the game outside of combat as there is during combat. And yes, I maintain that gliding is still boring and lame and stupid in WuWa as well. But again, that's just my opinion. It just don't got the same flavor as Batman gliding in and drop kicking bitches. Even in combat.
I agree. I agree. Compared to Batman gliding, yeah, totally. 100%. But I'd still rather have it than not have it.
WuWa allows more options in comparison to Genshin, like grappling, countering, intro and outro skills. But I want to focus on the dodge mechanic, because it is something that is both the games share. Sort of. So Genshin does have a dodge button. You press it and you dash in a direction of your choosing, and you do get some iframes, which is nice, but it's not really a dodge.
Genshin, you have dodge, E, and Q. That's it. You got 3 buttons, dodge, E, and Q. Compare that with WuWa, where you have like a dodge you have a dodge counter, you have a parry, you have an E, you have a Q, you also have heavy attacks, you have intros, you have outros, you have echo skills, you have like 10 different ways of dealing damage. Yeah, you have 10 different damage expressions that you can do. Whereas like Genshin has what, like 3? Or maybe a plunge as well, you know what I mean? You got some heavy attacks as well. Yeah, 40 specific abilities. Bro, WuWa has so many more ways of damage expression. It's like, it's night and day. It's genuinely night and day.
It can be used to dodge, but you're rarely negating all damage with it.
Yeah, just the intros and outros alone allow you to do swap back, swap backs. It's so much more complex, which is very much a good thing.
You're like giga sweaty, and it's more used to like relocate. Not bad, but it does make you feel less in control of what you want your character to do and can feel unsatisfying. WuWa counters this issue by adding a perfect dodge mechanic. You can preemptively dodge like in Genshin, but dodge at the perfect time and you're rewarded with a cool animation, complete negation of damage, and a cool little slow motion effect. Yet, you're pressing the same button. This mechanic bridges the gap between what you're imagining.
It feels satisfying. It's consistently satisfying, to be exact.
Your character to do in the game and what is
it makes you feel like you've achieved something, right? It's like, oh, you got a perfect dodge or a parry. You get that feeling of like, oh, I did it. oh, I'm doing something. Like, I'm not just dealing damage. Like, the damage doesn't even matter. It's like, damn, like, I'm kind of cooking here. That feeling, that dopamine hit you do when you get no-hit runs, or you land all your parries, or your perfect dodges and your dodge counters. It's good. It's good compared to Genshin, where it's like you don't really get rewarded for that. You don't get rewarded for not being hit. You don't feel rewarded for playing the game better. You only get rewarded for how much damage are you doing immediately with the colors that you're mixing. That's it. But WuWa, you get rewarded in so many different ways, and that fills the brain. At least for me, it tickles like a fun part of dopamine in my brain.
Illusion of more options when, again, you're
I'm a
just
simple
pressing the
girl.
same button.
I'm easily pleased. What can I say?
Makes
I'm
you
easily
feel
pleased.
more in control of your character. These small additions allow for more fluid gameplay, which is Genshin's biggest weakness.
WuWa dodges are the equivalent of an SSS rank in Devil May Cry. That is so accurate. That is so... I need WuWa to have like a style meter. I know we kind of get that like sometimes in some challenges where like you get ranked based on how quickly you do something, but like a style meter would be so cool in general. Oh yeah, that would be sick.
When you're talking about a comparison between the two, and why more new players are gravitating towards WuWa. Does that make Genshin's gameplay awful? No, it's still a fully playable game. But when Nicholas says he feels at 100% when playing WuWa as opposed to Genshin, can you blame him?
Nicholas didn't even get far enough into Genshin where he had to color mix. He didn't even get that far. He got to a Geo Slime and they couldn't even like kill it. Like, bro did not even get far enough to experience like the actual gameplay of the game. That's how bad it was. He couldn't even experience that. He didn't even know that wasn't a parry. He couldn't even get there. Like, that's how bad it was.
And then driving a 2006 Honda Accord. Yeah, they're both cars, but you're gonna be missing all those neat little features in the 2025 model. And these mechanics are stuff you're interacting with throughout the entire game. So when your first impressions of Genshin is sluggish and outdated, can you really blame someone for not wanting to continue? Especially after they made the mistake of trying WuWa first? Yes, I do think playing WuWa was an inevitable mistake on Nicholas's part, but can't really blame him for that. But Genshin's story is more in-depth and way better. I have zero experience on the Genshin story. I literally stopped playing during Klee's release. But you guys have to understand, if you don't have the gamer hooked within the first 30 minutes, who cares about the story? If it's a slog to even get to NPC 1 in 327 to interact with the story,
very accurate, very true.
The only games that primarily focus on story are visual novels. Every other case, the story is simply a bonus. Bro, games used to put the story in the pamphlet in the game case. Does that mean story isn't important? No.
Claire Obscure mentioned. Peak video.
Rather play a game that has the most abysmal...
Yeah, Honkai Star Rail had a great start to its game. Everyone who was here who has played Honkai Star Rail, most of us really enjoyed like the first 6 months. I loved Honkai Star Rail. For the first like 9 months of that release, I was always excited to launch and play that game. I was having so much fun. I was excited every new patch. I was even like the Lawfu I loved. I was so excited to play that game every time I did. It was great. I think Honkai Star Rail the first 6 months was better than Wuthering Waves. I don't think I've had a better time in the first 6 months of a gacha than when I played Honkai Star Rail. For me, personally, I enjoyed it more than the first 6 months I did of WuWa. Personally, okay? Personally. Now I much prefer WuWa over fucking any of them. But to me, Honkai Star the first 6 months was so good.
Story, but phenomenal gameplay over playing a shit game with a good story. If I wanted to do that, I'd read a book. Well, then they're just impatient and can't deal with slow burn. Okay, so let's talk about tolerance. Remember when I said there's two things? Tolerance, as you can see, is the ability or willingness to tolerate something.
Why do we have to put the definition of tolerance? Why do we have to add that in? Like, people don't know what that means. Tolerance means that you're tolerant of something. Why do we... Bro, hey, there's a number of times bro tries to make him sound like Giga Smart. Tolerance means when you're tolerant of something. Okay, buddy. Yeah. Come on. I'm not 5. I know we're making videos for a gacha audience here, but come on now. Let's not be a gacha. Actually, tolerate means tolerate. Come on, hey, brother. Hey, you say that I have an ADHD problem, which I might or might not have, right? Okay. I confirm it with denying shit, but hey, let's not treat me like a baby. Let's go. He knows his audience.
Particular to the existence of opinions or behavior that one does not necessarily agree with. You have to understand that Genshin came out during COVID, a period of time that took a huge toll on people, especially our generation. Social interaction was at an all-time low. Everyone was stuck at home, and that led to an upsurge in online presence and activity. Soon, that backlog of anime finished. All those movies they wanted to watch, done and rated. All those games that never had time to complete, 100%ed. During a time where all these forms of media were incredibly popular, was also a double-edged sword because guess what? All those studios that made those movies and games set back hard because of COVID. So shows were put on a hiatus, movie filming was halted,
Sad.
Games entered straight up development hell. So here comes along Genshin, a new gacha game that broke into the mainstream with its uncanny resemblance to Breath of the Wild, iconic anime art style, and the promise of having near infinite content.
When I played Genshin day one. You guys might not believe me. I was a day one Genshin player and I played with my homies and we did co-op and we just like explored and like literally picked flowers and did domains. It was a great time. It was nice. I'll be real. It was cool. And then I remember like feeling frustrated because like you got like story locked really quickly. Yeah, you did the whole like Deval and stuff and you got story locked really quickly and I was like, okay.
And guess what? Genshin was an instant.
I remember I did my first temple and I got Venti immediately. I remember that kept me around. I was like, oh, I got the 5-star at one temple, and then like I just stayed. Yeah. My first ever gacha temple, I got a Venti. It was great.
Hit. It was insane how popular this game got. And although I didn't stick with the game for too long, I completely understood why other people remained. It was an entirely new world to explore that was really hard to find anywhere else. And that's the thing. It was hard to find a game like that anywhere else. So without any real competition, without anything to compare to, or without any way to see what could be better, a lot of players became complacent. What normally would call for outrage was the norm. People tolerated the shitty and outdated flaws of Genshin Impact because there was nothing better. You skip to 2024, now players have been playing Genshin for 3 to 4 years. Players are now attached and used to the game's mechanics, despite the option that offers an upgrade in almost
it's a time sink fallacy. You have a sunk cost fallacy, but also a time sink one as well. Like you've played it for so long, you've just it's like, like I feel like I have to keep playing or I have to keep going back, you know. Even for me, once in a while I will still go back to Genshin and like catch up on the stories eventually, which I will be doing. You know, to a lot of people, you might as well just like, I might as well just go back and just see.
Every conceivable way. And instead of welcoming it gladly, it was rejected, put down, ridiculed. It almost kind of sounds like, my God, you guys are turning into my parents. I literally got my mom a whole new phone, yet she uses the rinky-dinky broken taped up Samsung Galaxy S8. Because she's used to it. It was seen as a threat to all the years they had spent on the game they had loved, but also just...
How could I put more years into another gacha? No, how could I?
To tolerate. That's what we call sunk cost fallacy. A lot of people at this point, despite being discouraged by the lack of desired changes, were sticking along because of all the time and money they spent. So if they quit now, it'd be a waste. It's always been a waste, and that goes for every.
If you really care, you could just play both. I'll be real. Hey, if you're someone who plays both WuWa and Genshin, fair play. Right? Enjoy both games. Enjoy both. You don't have to quit one and have to play the other. No one is forcing you to, right? No one is forcing you to. Oh, you play WuWa now? Oh, you must not play Genshin. Oh, you'll play both Genshin and WuWa? Okay, you need to quit one. Pick a side. You don't have to do that. Hey, if you enjoy the games, just play the games. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you want to pick one, you can, but no one's putting a gun to your head. And I feel like a lot of the gacha community feels that way right now. Like you have to pick a side. The whole tribalism thing, right? And you don't. Just enjoy whatever you want.
Every gacha game, not just Genshin. New players don't have that holding them back. New players get the chance to compare the two games, and guess what? They're going to play the game that feels better to play as people who have zero prior experience. You could say you prefer Genshin's gameplay, but in a pure technological and game sense, Wuthering Waves does offer more. Hence,
Wuthering Waves to me is me in my best shape.
at the end of the day, this is all about taste. Some people like the slower pace, some people like the more colorful and cartoony style that Genshin has to offer, and some people also prefer focus on story rather than intensive gameplay. And that's perfectly fine, but you have to understand that for the vast majority, the game comes first. And if they aren't hooking the player within those first 30
I don't
minutes,
know if it's the
good.
vast majority. I don't know if we could confidently say that like as a definitive statement. Yeah, I don't know as a definitive statement, but it's definitely a lot.
You also have to accept you're now becoming the boomer in this genre of gacha games. You're the person that's going,
Back in my day, we needed to climb up the mountain. We don't do that newfangled wall running and flying and horse riding.
the game by a lot of standards is outdated and people are going to gravitate towards the new and shinier toy. It happened with Genshin and Star Rail. It happened with Genshin and WuWa. And
And that was gonna happen with Silver Palace and WuWa, Cadence Rewinding Cadence, whatever the bloody hell it was called. It's gonna happen with Arline's Enfield. Yeah, WuWa EOS basically. Yeah, bye WuWa. Your time is over now. Time for the next big boys to arrive, huh? Yeah, WuWa in the bin. Yeah, get in the bin, brother.
probably happened with WuWa and Silver Palace or Dual Night
Wait
Events
for an
or
answer.
whatever.
Yeah,
other gacha
NTE
games
is gonna
coming out.
ruin WuWa, bro.
So while I can understand the frustration of seeing your game not being given the due diligence, you have to also understand that Genshin is slowly becoming a product of its time.
This was Lil Honey Schmack. This video was so good. I really enjoyed this video. Apart from the fact where you called me whatever you called me, okay, that was an L, big L. But this video is definitely a huge improvement over your last one. This is so good. Really liked it, guys. Make sure you go and subscribe to Lil Honey Smack. I'm gonna put the link in the comments. There you go, so you can go watch it. Okay, you can go watch it. A great video, a lot of great points, and I agree with pretty much everything. Okay, I agree with pretty much everything. So I appreciate y'all. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm live every single day. Twitch.tv/CaptainCabinetz. Link is in the pinned comment and on Kick as well. Hey, if you want an ad-free viewing experience, you know where to go. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Kick /Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.